Maybe we should have seen this coming all along tonight on Sportswire Radio in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, because a guy that was here who was unholy a few months ago before the end of last season in NEW famously said that the DHC would possibly grow in numbers. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It was certainly cold as hell. And especially if you're the Heartstopper Gabe Sayers, especially if you're Joe Starr, who's, I guess, no longer star of the show, and especially now coming up, if you're the likes of Hiroshima and Kuma, because, well, it looks like you're going to be getting some bombs dropped your way. Our guest is going to talk about that. They call our guest deranged, but is he really deranged? Because it seems like there was methodically a plan to make the DHC the most dominant force in all of the underground. And our guest is going to talk about that. And he's most certainly going to talk about what's next, because right now, technically, the DHC in their possession has all of the gold. I'll talk about that, plus a number of different things. We're going to get you ready for Saturday's Vortex episode, Insanity Calamity 10. Boy, where does the time go? We're going to get you ready for that, plus who knows whatever else. Plus, I'll actually have a surprise for, I guess, no, it's not Joe Starr. It's not Joe Starr on this one. I can assure you this time it's not Joe Starr. He's not going to go to jail. They're not going to threaten to kill each other here. I actually do have something for him, and I think my guest might even give me a pass on this one because he'll most certainly, I think, be happy with this. But in the words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, it is now time to let's get rocked and start this show off in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one Gamble Sports Show. He's the newest member of maybe the most dominant faction in the underground, the DHC. He technically, in his possession, has right now one half of those NEW Tag Team Championships of the world. His name is, simply put, the Deranged Tyson Spade! Technically, the champ is here, my friend. How are we doing?
I am doing great. If anyone watched NEW recently, I am standing on top of the world, and I am not alone. I said at the beginning of the season I was gonna start it right, and I did. DHC had a momentous start, a start that everyone will remember. This is a start of a new phase for DHC.
Yeah, I think that I know that there have been previous incarnations of DHC, but what we saw at Cold Hazel was something we've never seen before. I mean, obviously, you joining your sister, winning the hardcore championship. Look what Be Insane did. Look at what Jake did to Joe Starr. I mean, really, you could have renamed the show DHC Hour. I mean, really, we could have named Cold as Hell DHC Hour, and I think that would have pretty been appropriate for that. And we're going to certainly get into all of that. And also, happy birthday to you and your sister yesterday. We'll have something for the group. But I'm going to start off in a different way. Usually I'll go and say, well, blah, 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 blah. What does it mean? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to do something different here because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, Tyson, Spade, and DHC most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio, to the tune of nearly 1,500 subscribers. Shouldn't we have seen this coming and we didn't even know it with you and what DHC has become today?
I mean, listen, I've been asked, why did I join? It's simple. DHC is the most dominant fashion. Like, we took the hardcore title at Star Class.
Yep.
Season finale. We took the World Championship. We have the Northeast title. And it's only a matter of time those tag team titles will be officially belonging to DHC because, I mean, Shima, Kuma, those two losers don't stand a chance. And I mean, everyone's been asking me why. Look back last season. You were talking about, what Jake said a few months ago.
Yes, you were talking about this off the air, yeah.
Let's go a few months ago when I faced Jake in a death match.
Yes.
That match ended, and he shook my hand. A few weeks later, Justin was saying, shook my hand. You want to know how many other people were shaking my hands, showing me respect? Not just last season, but for the last few years?
Mm-hmm.
No one. Not a single person. Everyone went out of their way to disrespect me. So, is it a surprise that finally, when someone is willing to show me respect, that I'm not going to show that respect back? Especially when DHC has three of the greatest wrestlers on all of the internet. Jake Dvorak, Be Insane, Rhea Silva, my twin. I mean, come on, that's self-explanatory. I've been saying for years, I wanted to get my twin back. And
yeah, you did talk about this last year. You were on here and you would come on periodically. This was a topic in the chat over the past year. And, you could look at it from your vantage point. Tell me your thoughts on this, because I don't really think you're as deranged as the name says, because there was definitely a plan. But look at the success that Jake has had, right? Being a part of the DHC. Look at what Be Insane has done since he captured the Undisputed Championship. And now your sister. So really, if you think about it, it's kind of like reading the tea leaves. Seeing what they've done from your vantage point, why not join?
Exactly. It's simple. What am I going to do? Turn away three of the greatest wrestlers? Say I don't want to be a part of that? The greatest faction? Say no to that? I mean, I'm honored to be a part of DHC and to finally see what they see. Because going back to my sister, I've said for a while that Rhea was brainwashed. That this wasn't the real Rhea Silva. And after all this time, I can finally admit I was wrong. Rhea was not brainwashed. She saw the truth. She saw what NEW needed to be, and just the respect that Jake doesn't get, that Sane doesn't get, that Rhea never got. We have people who built NEW not getting the respect they deserve. I mean, just look at that cocky prick Joe Star. Look at how
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of Joe Star discussion here tonight. And I have a feeling that that's also going to be something in the chat that'll be a topic. We'll get to him. So I guess then theoretically, you felt the same thing. You felt the disrespect. You felt the lack of support. So again, why not join? Like I said before, I mean, we've seen the success from the other members. We've seen what they've done, and you on a lot of issues of late have seen eye to eye with them. So really, at the end of the day, this was not a plan that just all of a sudden came overnight. This was, like I said, a more methodical plan that was well thought out.
I mean, when you have two people with the same goal, saying the same things, I went on here on
Yep.
Sportswire talking about how people like Joe Starr, Kuma, Shima, and others treat this company. And how many times has Jake said the same thing? How many times has Sane said the same thing? Rhea. It was a matter of time that, we put some of the bad past beside us and move forward for the betterment of NEW. And I mean, that's my twin. Jake Dvorak and I have been off and on teaming for years.
Yeah.
I teamed with Rhea for the first time about 7 years ago. I mean,
and you could also look at it and say that Shima, Kuma, and Joe Starr, they're outsiders, right?
exactly.
You, Sane, Jake, and your sister helped build NEW. You've been always loyal to NEW for a long period of time. Joe Starr, Shima, and Kuma, they've been here, relatively speaking, about a New York minute. And why not stick together, fight against the outsiders, and show them that, you know what? It's not their company. They're not responsible for the company's success. It's the four of you.
I know, and they keep trying to take the tag titles. Joe had the no fees. And it's not just the three of them. Gabe Sayers.
We're going to get to Gabe. We're going to definitely get to Gabe. We're going to put your match up and talk about that.
MJ Seal, Limbo.
Limber, who was a promo wrestler, a promo artist, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I know Lyra Limber, yes.
But what about people like Prince, who's coming and going, like the wind? People who aren't dedicated to this company, who don't give a fuck about this company like we do. There is only two people who's never missed a show, never missed one of the days of the filmings, Jake Dvorak and myself. We are always there, always showing up. We are dedicated. DHC is dedicated. We are doing everything to make this company the best it can be. And people like Gabe want to come in and take credit, say this is his home, reap the benefits. People, now he's bringing his.
Well, we talked about that with Gabe. I mean, listen, when Jake was here and we were talking about their feud, right? And it goes to the same point as you. Gabe has been in these places like GTS, and he's had his own company, and he's probably focused more on those things, and he's here really for what reasons? And it seems that Jake obviously had quite a war with him, figuratively and literally, and you kind of picked up where Jake left off, and Gabe is another example of guys that really through and through aren't company men. And that, go ahead.
No, it's true, because listen, everyone wants to travel, everyone wants to go here, there, and everywhere. That is fine. People leave their homes, they go on vacations, but at the end of the day, you still have a home. You still are where you're dedicated to. That's not Gabe. Gabe has a home. He's just spending the night here. And what do you do when someone tries to come into your home? Jake tried to get rid of him. I got rid of him. Jake put him through hell. And Gabe just thought he was going to get away scot-free. He thought he was over with. He thought the season finale was it. No, DAC doesn't forget. I said I was doing it for my friends. And simply put, I mean, look at Gabe. He had a feud with Sane. He had issues with Ray in the past. His issues with Jake. I'm just hoping the mission. And that's what I'm doing. I've been selfish in the past. And now it's time for me to help the betterment of.
All right, let me ask you a question. And we're here with Tyson Spade, who says he's deranged, but it sounds more like he's the methodical Tyson Spade, and we'll get to everybody here in the chat. I see that we've got the Banana Club here in the club. What do they call it in the chat? The certainly, I think some people want to talk about some comments made on last night's show by one individual is here. But let's stay on track and let's get ready for Saturday's episode here from Vortex. Let me ask you though this question, right? We spoke about these outsiders, right? What's Shima, Kuma, Joe Starr, and Gabe Sayers. Do you think that these outsiders, do they belong in NEW still? Should they show up in this company going forward? I mean, you've got a 3-on-1 handicap match coming up with Joe Starr. Should he even, maybe he shouldn't show up. Maybe he should say, you know what? I'll go stick to my own company, right? Jake went in there and beat him, and maybe I should find something else to do. Shima and Kuma, you've got the tag team championship, right? Technically, you were in possession of those titles. So ultimately, it sounds like what you're telling me is that these outsiders, maybe they shouldn't bother.
They should just go home. Rhea beat the shit out of Kuma, leaving him bleeding. Saint beat the shit out of Shima. Jake the Boak beat the living hell out of that loser, Joe Storm. And it's just simply put, with Gabe in that same path, they should just go home. They went 0-4 on cold as hell.
Come on. They didn't win. Listen.
Not one.
The matches, the matches speak for themselves. So listen, and I think that obviously you are going to pick up right where they left off coming up this Saturday, and everybody else will check that out. And I guess you want to say anything further about Gabe Sayers? Anything that you want to say before I put our matchup? I mean, maybe stick to GTS, maybe stick to TF Crew. I mean, when are they having a show, by the way?
It's just, listen, I'll tell them the same thing for Joe Starr. Just don't show up. Don't show up for the handicap match. Don't show up for NEW. You're going to get hurt. Gabe was this close to having his heart stomped for good. Joe Starr, he lost everything he worked for. Who is he now? He built himself on that championship. He's nothing without it. They should all just go home or you're going to get hurt. Gabe, you've been hurt. Joe, you got hurt. What do you think is going to happen this Saturday in Vortex? You're going to get hurt again.
Well, I mean, obviously that starts 12 o'clock. And if you'd like to watch that, it's on the YouTube channel of what we're watching here right now. And we're watching Gabe Sayers here in the ring. And you're about to come out. So tell me what you're thinking here coming out in this match.
It's simple. As the song says, I was thinking about one word. His heart. And I wanted to stop it. That's my only regret with this match. Is that I didn't give him a heart attack. That I didn't stop his heart. That is my only regret. And I know I heard it. Am I going a bit too far with talking about his heart condition? I don't think so. I've had heart problems before. I've had heart surgery. How many times?
Well, I mean, to be fair, we've had previous guests talk about people's cancer and people's different objects that they carry. So, I mean, really, what does it matter at this point?
Listen, I'm not trying to offend anyone with a heart condition. It's Gabe who's the problem. It's simply put. I've had heart problems. Other people have. What makes him that he needs to use this for attention, to, sympathy? To me, that's worse than what I'm doing. You want to talk about it. Why can't I?
Look, I mean, it's your prerogative. And look, ultimately, you've succeeded. You got the W. So really, what's to say you were right or wrong? And it worked for you. And we've got Gabe Sayers certainly jumped up. And you've come out and very vocal. And it's been quite a back and forth that we're going to see shape up here. And obviously, you've got the psychological advantage, you might want to say.
Hey, sometimes you got to say something to get that advantage. And I got it. Gabe is a great wrestler. but I have had more years in this ring. He's a bit bigger. You're gonna see, a little back and forth. He's gone to all the post training. He knows all these locks
Yeah.
and holds,
Yeah.
but those locks and your holds mean nothing when your head can't think straight. You're getting angry. So maybe I went too far, but again, you're gonna see as this match goes on. I'm getting in his head. I'm keeping him down. He gets the only advantage, but after that, I dominated this match with Gabe.
You made a point that was interesting, is that you actually have more experience in the ring than he does. You've actually had, in some form or another, more matches than him. So you could say tactically, this is how you wanted to start the match.
Listen, no one wants to start on the losing end, but this guy, he probably thought, oh, I have 2 wrist holds in, I'm winning this match. Listen, it's not about how you start, it's how you end it. I knew from the beginning he can get his little holds in. It's not how you start, it's how you finish the match. And
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously you've come out here and you've got him kind of looking around, wondering what's what. I mean, he didn't expect that kind of start, considering what the type of match this will end up being. I think that that's a point, and you are right in that he's got a little bit of a strength advantage. But again, the longer the match goes, you alluded to his health issues. That helps you a little bit in a match like this, because you basically talked about, we know his issues, and those are things that in a match like this, the longer it goes, you're the veteran, that helps you.
yes, and right now at this moment, he's hearing me talk about his heart. So he's worried. He's waiting. When is it gonna happen? Oh, and now he's thrown off because I'm just going for a lockup. He's not expecting when it's gonna happen. You just wait sometimes for to hurt someone. You gotta throw them off the game. He's probably expecting me to run straight at him. You just gotta slow it down. As he's been told before, you just slow it down.
So you're using his what he's been taught against him. You use the term "keep it simple," which is a term that they use in music. It's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And basically, that's what you're doing here. You're taking stuff that really we wouldn't expect in a match like this, and you're basically making him go into a contest that is about psychology, and that's why you are, as I say, the methodical Tyson Spade rather than the deranged Tyson Spade. And we're seeing that there. You come back into the ring, and now you start working on his hand, and we'll see that come up here in a few minutes, because you start working on some parts of his body, which helps you get the upper hand in a matchup like this.
Exactly. As I said, he was expecting to go in. He was expecting a bloodthirsty match. I threw him off his game to begin with, and when the moment perfectly arrived, then I started my attack. Then I started wearing down his body, and then after this point, you can see he tries to come back a few times, but I keep control, and I win the match. It's simple. He thinks he knows everything because he took some pro classes, but it's some things you don't.
Well, that was what.
know.
Yes. Well, yes. Well, we're not going to go down that road, because I could see we have the peanut gallery here. Certainly would like to go into that. But yesterday's guest, James Taylor, was talking about pro wrestlers and different things and other things that, that's up to him, and that's his opinion. But I think in terms of what you're saying, really, is that in this match, none of that matters, because right now you've been able to go toe to toe with him, and you're working a style that you want. That's the tempo that you want to be able to eventually get the victory. And guys do say that when they come on here. So those are points that obviously are taken. And we're here with Tyson Spade. We're watching his match that took place this past Saturday at Cold as Hell, which is the most recent NEW show. You can check out their next show this Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern time. And you're going to see Tyson Spade in action in a 3-on-1 handicap match against a man he had quite a history with last year. That is, well, last season, technically, Joe Star. And I'm sure that that'll be a topic here in a little bit. But we're watching this match here. And you have some nice ring work here. I mean, the ring work here is definitely speaks for itself, and there's no question that you're wearing down a guy that he might be trained in that, but he's wrestled matches recently that's been the complete antithesis of what we're seeing here, more or less.
No, and I respect the pro training. I respect everything he's doing.
Yeah,
That it takes a lot of discipline. But
sure.
a lot of people go and they face off against someone with pro training and they back away. They get scared that they're gonna go into the deep end and not be able to handle the match. You just gotta, and that's what he thought I was gonna do. He thought I was gonna back away.
Yeah.
He thought he had all this experience, and you just use it against him. It's no disrespect to his training. It's just using what you gotta do to get the advantage.
Well, it's like, look, I mean, people go and fight, right? Whether it's boxing or other things, and people may be trained in some form, but once you're out fighting, it's instinct, other things that go into play. So, I mean, obviously, you've got some experience. You went up into the high rent district. That didn't quite work out in your favor. But listen, sometimes you take gambles, sometimes you try different things, but you go right back. That works. And I think that was a theme throughout the match. You were going for his arm. That was obviously a strategy of yours. And what was about that strategy in the match why that was something you looked for?
Well, I mean, just go back to what happened with there. I had a fumble. He got out of the way in time, but due to his arm, he couldn't capitalize. If you take out his arm, the main source of his offense, what is he gonna do? Every second of capitalization hurts him. Every move he's doing right now, every punch he throws is gonna hurt him because it's right here. The main source of most of your moves is like taking out the base of a bigger man. If you take out his leg, how is he gonna do half the moves he needs to do? You hold his arm, how is he going to do his hold?
He's definitely starting to now feel that. He's definitely starting to feel that pain that has been bothering him. Yeah.
He can't capitalize. It's taking a moment, and that's every second is I get to breathe a little bit more. Take that time to recover.
Let me ask you a question. Did you watch? I mean, you were there, but I mean, in terms of going into this match, did you look at the tape and rewatch those matches he had with Jake, or even matches he had with Joe Start in order to prepare for a match like this? Did you go back and watch some of the footage?
Yes, of course. And I mean, I got to talk to Jake about what to do, what not to do.
Right.
Gave me some pointers. And Jake is someone you would want to listen to regardless. But he had a war with him. Obviously, I'm not gonna watch his matches with Joe because Joe sucks, but
Well, you've also been in the ring with Joe. You've been in the ring with him recently. I mean, you know how that's about. Sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was in the ring with Joe recently. Hopefully, this is the last time this weekend. 3-on-1 handicap match.
I'm gonna get to him. I got you. But there you go. Yep. But I wanted to plug NEW's Instagram page. So if you'd like to check out some of their stuff, but you're starting to now go out and try to start to get some accounts on and pin counts. But now you're going back to, again, I think you're pretty much working a strategy, and it's working for you. I mean, there's no question that like I said, the longer the match that this goes, it's an advantage for you because, again, of his health issues and your experience. It's a simple, what I said.
Right there.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Listen, I know what I'm doing. I'm not someone like Rocky Jackson who sucks. I know what I'm doing in this ring. And it's an example right here. Every moment I make matters.
Well, that's what counts. No, listen, that's what counts. And you're certainly doing that here for sure. And I see that you're going and saying a few things to the crowd, and you're trying to make an example of Mr. Sayers. And I'm surprised that Mr. Sayers didn't seem like he would have prepared for something like this.
Well, you told him off the game. He's holding. Now he's seeing finally halfway to the match. His heart's now starting to hurt. Now I'm focused on that. I already got the mind game advantage. His entire plan was thrown off.
Even the elbow drop. Even the elbow drop. You did it right on his arm. I mean, you went right back to it throughout the match. Basically, you did that so you couldn't give him an opportunity for any type of work, and whether it would be to come back and reverse a hold or get into any type of offense. So no, listen, I mean that was figuratively the name of the show was Cold as Hell, and that's kind of what you're doing to his arm, more or less.
Just look at him writhing in pain. It was the perfect plan. This is my favorite thing. I might just have to go watch Jake Dvorak beat the shit out of him after this. Gabe Sayers got what he deserved, thinking he could just come into our company, take and do whatever he wants, brings his friends, he doesn't care. And this goes to show he can't, because he's going to end up in a hospital.
You said something interesting. I want to go back to that, in that you said that friends of his. So you're lumping in the same category Sayers, Kuma, Shima, and Gabe, right? Is that accurate?
Not just him. That little dude he brought with him and face? Jay Seal that we have.
Yeah.
With a crowbar.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has his other friends. We've seen them before. People like Kobo and Castle that he brings along with him. Gives them a little match. They kiss his ass. They get booked in on his show. They kiss his ass again. Builds his ego. All of his little friends that he brings to NEW. This is going to be their fate. Just like their trainer, they're going to get put down.
Well, right now, I mean, that's certainly what they're facing. There's no question that they have their backs against the wall, and it'll be interesting to see if they respond at all coming up this Saturday. And Gabe tries a last resort of offense. And,
I have a little advice for Gabe. After I put your little buddy in the hospital, never again bring any of your friends to NEW, because DHC will make sure they don't stay long.
So really, maybe everybody should just stay out of the way of DHC. Maybe really at this point, there should be nobody that should show up but you guys. I mean, at this point, it seems like that what's going on with anybody in the roster. Lyra Limber is an example. I mean, that's a newer talent. Anybody else that's here, you mentioned Rocky Jackson, Prince Chandler, all these people, right? Leonidas, they should all just, that's it, right? At this point, you guys should just have it your own way. And it seems like these would be smart for everybody is not to show up coming up from everyone else, I guess.
I hope we see one thing. The show opens and it's just DHC from start to end. But to clarify on one point, Rocky Jackson, he has to stay home. He was fired not once, but twice. He's staying home guaranteed.
Well, you got Prince Chandler, you got Leonidas, Lyra Limber. I mean, these are people that we've seen recently, and we'll have to see if they still show up on Vortex. I would guess.
Listen, Prince, he's gonna quit 5 more times. All these people will slowly leave. I'm sure Gabe will find another booking, and not show up. It would just be the DHC show soon.
But you could tell right just now, and just coming back to the match here, that even though he's coming back with some offense, you could tell that he's clearly bothered by what you've done to him throughout the match. Sure, he's coming back, but he's doing it on one arm. I mean...
Yeah, he's holding his arm. He can barely use it.
Well... It's clearly, instead of calling him the heart stopper, it might be the arm stopper, because his arm is basically stopped because you had a nice little kick there and got yourself some more offense. And this time you're going to try again back here in the high rent district, and you're going to definitely go off top. And you definitely succeeded there. But again, going back to the same point throughout the match, I think we've been watching the match about 11, 12 minutes, and it's been very, very strong. And you continue to work on that. And obviously, Gabe's now in the center of the ring, and he's thriving in pain. And he's thriving in pain. That's right, thriving in pain. But
this is the best part right here. Where he thinks he won. He took the crowbar. Right here.
But we're gonna see where it all. We're gonna see it all comes into play. And That was something we didn't see coming. That was definitely a shock. And the only shock on disbelief is going to be to Gabe Sayers because that's now going to be that's a wrap there. That's all, folks. And you are reunited there officially. There you go. And you got a victory. So how'd that feel for you? How did that moment feel for you?
This is the moment I've been waiting for multiple seasons to be with my family again. Not just getting one family member, but getting new ones with Sane and Devorank. You know, it's the first time in years I got to celebrate my birthday with my twin. This is the first time I've missed Christmases, Thanksgiving. Finally, our family are back.
So this was. So where did this rank on birthdays yesterday? Was this one of your?
It was amazing. DC celebrated right with all of our championships, with our family. It was perfect.
Well, I guess then the line would be the best is yet to come for all of you as a group. And Gabe Sayers is left lying, and the DHC is victorious, and that was the case throughout the show. Jake won the Northeast Championship. I know that he'll be back very soon to talk about that, and we'll put him again in the Hall of Fame once again. And I'm sure Rhea and Sane will continue to do what they do, and we'll certainly talk about that here. Let me get to some of the chat here because, I could watch the whole show with you, but I know you're a busy man. You have stuff to plan for before Saturday. But what I'd like to do here before we get to some business is hit the sub button for our friends here at NEW. They do have a YouTube channel, and if you want to watch some of their stuff, which I would encourage, go give it to them. Next, I would watch your match, Savage, but I would watch the one you had with Sane at last season. That's the last one I have in NEW, but great stuff there. We're going to take this off the screen for now. Going to bring you back up, and we'll get through some of these comments, and I got a lot of them, so we'll start off here. Zilla is here first. I know Zilla was in the chat on Saturday. She'll be back at it again, and she would like to say hello. Doc Holliday, who was the Riot in the Ring winner, would like to say hello. He'd like to say hello to both of us. How's everybody doing? This guy, every show I have talks about Ricochet. So we'll just say thank you very much for tuning. He's on my TikTok. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Ricochet has anything to do with every show I do. It's not even yours, but thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate it. There we go. Your brother Tyson Spade. There you go. You're all reunited again. Yeah, I got that. Thank you for that. And I don't know why that is. Our friends in BCW, nice to see you. Hello. Thank you very much for tuning in. Maxwell Reeves and Tsunami are here this coming Wednesday. That'll be a conversation we'll talk about then. Hello to DHC. Yep, they are here. Enough with the Ricochet dream match. But I appreciate it, but I don't have Ricochet on Sportswire yet. We have Tyson Spade. Hello. If anyone belongs on a trampoline, it's this guy. Well, I mean, right now you bounced Gabe Sayers out of the ring and got a pinfall victory. You got a 1, 2, 3. And the only person that might be bouncing on a trampoline right now is Gabe Sayers. By the way, didn't he bounce on one on TikTok or some type of one of those things? So let's try to have some humor here. Let's not go far yet. It's the Undisputed Championship. Yep, that's but that's okay. We're not going to let you
World Championship.
Good enough.
I thought you would know the name.
Yeah, I got that. Trampolines are dangerous. Well, you know what? A lot of things are dangerous. You can cross the street, and who really knows? But again, thank you. I'm gonna move away from the Khalil Myers chat because I got the point. It's the same comments over and over. I'd like to say hello to Brent. He's excited to see you. We're excited to have you here. That might be so, but what do I know? I'm not an expert. Yeah, it seems like somebody's shooting, but that was yesterday's guest, and okay, I'll appreciate. I see that in other chats. Joe Star definitely eats corn on the wall. I'm gonna get to Joe because Joe's not here. Usually Joe's in the chat. Usually Joe has something to say. So maybe he's read the tea leaves. You know,
he's probably drinking somewhere depressed. He hasn't had his.
I thought 420 was last. I thought 420 was last month. I thought Cinco de Mayo was 10 days ago. So I guess you're saying he's still doing that stuff. Well,
we can talk about it.
We'll talk about it in about 10 minutes. We're going to get to Joe's talk because I want to get your opinion on that. Sane is 3 fries short of a Happy Meal. Do they have what? I don't even know what they do in the Happy Meal these days. Joe eats bananas for the shape, not the taste. I'm going to You guys would know. I don't. NEW went downhill since Savage left. Unknown. Well, I mean, the views seem like they're doing pretty good, but hey, never say never. Thank you, Blood and Honor Wrestling. I appreciate it. We'll check it out, but right now we're talking NEW. Yeah, I know. I see that people are still saying, "Look, I haven't got the tattoo." I mean, as simple as that. I haven't got it yet, but I'm here right now, right? So maybe we'll do it again. But as for anybody else getting trampolines on their arm, though. I will say in the Jewish neighborhoods in Brooklyn, they have what's called Lagerbalmer coming up, and on Sunday they're actually having something on a trampoline. So maybe we'll see some people on a trampoline there. But they're Orthodox and they speak Yiddish, so something tells me maybe they'll have a Yiddish trampoline wrestling match. Who knows? But we'll leave that at that. Get in octagon shape. Well, that's true. That's UFC. All of our roster. Yeah, I think we pretty much had almost everybody here. I think almost everybody's been here on Sportswire. Almost,
yeah,
I think.
All of us promoted now that these Savage.
I think almost everybody. Yeah, we like having everybody here. That's what it's all about. The colorway of white and red. Okay. Yes, I see the references. I got it. I got the references. It's okay. It's all good. Long as everybody's tuned in. Thank you very much for tuning in. Follow the money. Companies don't care. Well, I mean, that's their issue. Hello, subscribe for a big hug. I don't know what the reference is on a big hug.
I don't know.
I don't know. Tip hug. We're getting to the comments. We're getting there. Now we're going to get there. Everybody, I think people got it out of their system now. Yes, I pretty much said I haven't got the tattoo. I've said it on Sportswire 10 times, but who knows? Maybe I'll get it. But right now I'm a chicken. What can I tell you? But I'm honest. You know what? That's the case. But he'll beat Joe any day. Well, he did beat him. He's 2-1 on him. I'm gonna get that to you.
Last time I saw him.
Well, we're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. Any day that ends with the letter Y. Any day that starts with the letter T. Tuesday, Thursday, tomorrow, the next day, the next T's. Thank you. I don't know what the reference was there. I don't drink Starbucks, but
I don't drink coffee.
Me either. A zero sugar Monster energy drinks. That's good. Jake, well, he has hurt Gabe in the past.
Yeah, he has, and he will again.
Next TF Crew main event is me versus Angel for the belt. Well, Rad Dad is here next Monday.
That's actually happening.
I
did see it confirmed on Instagram actually.
Yes. I am gonna talk to. I have Rad Dad next Monday. I'm gonna get his opinion on that, so that'll be exciting. And will that be a live show? Well, that's a good question. You have to ask the man that runs it, the outsider. But we've talked about the entire show tonight. Someone likes extra cream in his Starbucks. Okay. His heart is 2 words, Spade. Better it be all not.
I meant the board is hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
I pay $30,000 a week for training. I can't be messing around. Okay. Brother, sister. Yep. I actually want to talk about that as well in a few minutes. Just put some bed bug mattresses under a trampoline and say it's harder than pro wrestling. I would say that's toward yesterday's guest, but Joe is a bed bug. Okay. Do people actually have bed bugs? This is the first time. Well, Joe Star. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Sumo probably do.
Okay. And I watched Cold as Hell. Crazy at how much more entertaining the chat. Well, that's not true, though. We are very happy to have you here, and let's move on. One thing Gabe wasn't expecting was for Spade to be able to wrestle. He was right. I think that objectively speaking, was what I think we saw in this match, that you wrestled what Gabe Sayers knows, and Gabe Sayers didn't even see it coming. That's why you were very methodical. And I think the rest of your group has been very methodical in what you've done. I mean, you and Ray have reunited for the first time in years. At the end of last season, Jake and Sane reunited for the first time in years. And Jake was here a couple months ago and talked about how he was going to add members by addition and not by subtraction. Stay tuned. And there you go. And Gabe is Bill Goldberg's favorite wrestler. Is Bill Goldberg still even around? I mean, that's a good question. Joe eats Snickers upside down to feel the veins go down his throat.
I saw him do this. I did see him do this. This is true.
Really? And that was it? Was that on 420 or was that on Cinco de Mayo?
He does it before every match. That's like his pre-match.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, you know what? In baseball, there was a player, Wade Boggs, who before every game would eat a chicken, and Joe Star eats Snickers upside down. Yeah, so
for the veins.
Well, it works, I suppose. You should really leave it to the pros. Well, you just told us that you didn't have to do it to the pros. The gallery, the peanut gallery. I thought we are. Everybody's having fun. We're having a good time. Well, that's nuts. Peanuts do have nuts in them. And well, I can't repeat the last part. Let's watch my match. Well, we'll see. Stay tuned. Never. To quote James Taylor, never say never.
Not watching.
Yeah,
I'll watch a D Savage match when he shows up to NEW.
Well, I mean, the last we saw him, Sane was gonna cut his hands off. I mean,
no, he's a quitter. He's never coming back.
Well, that's a different show for a different time. But if you'd like to hit the sub button for NEW, that would always be nice, right? And WWE is getting rid of the ring and using a trampoline. There can be no other way. Yeah, I don't think WWE is doing that anytime soon. But Ox McCoy joins in. Could you imagine trampoline wrestling in a venue? I don't even know if that's ever happened before. But I don't know if that's ever happened before. And something tells me I don't think it will. Gabe comes prepared. He can't show up on time for it, which is actually, he's technically right, because when I met him all those months ago, he was late. He was like 10 minutes late or something like that. So
I don't think I've seen this man show up full time for an AEW show.
You know what? There's a lot of people like that. Okay, these guys are going back and forth. I'm going to leave that at that. We're going to leave that. G Savage says he may have to return, but I don't know if that's possible. Rocky equals
no balls.
Okay, DHC for life. Well, you guys seem to be running NEW right now for life. Yes. Hello to Ox McCoy. Hello. The Samoan Dragon is here. The High Chief. How you doing?
Hello.
I was going to join NEW, but they don't offer trampoline wrestling.
No, we do.
Well, then, I mean, what can I tell you? There's something for everybody. Maybe you can convince Power. So we're going to get to him because I want to put the card up here in a few minutes for that. We'll get to that in a minute. Another loss for Gabe. Spade has been waiting to win one. Well, you won
months in a row.
Oh, you won a big match. You got a big win over Gabe Sayers, which is a big win. And you did pin Joe Star last season.
And Leonidas to end the season, too. That's 2
families united. Let's go with that. YouTube, hit the sub button for our friends in NEW. Let's see what else we got. I can't see without my glasses. You got to get your glasses on. I mean, that's good. I want to say hello to Tuesday's guest, Joey Knight Jr. How you doing, Joey? Nice to see you. And also, I would also beat Joe any day of the week. Also, hello, gentlemen, my wonderful new brother. I have something for you guys I want to give you in a few minutes. And there you go. Hello. Everybody, yep, everybody's good. Appreciate that. Having a good time. That's what it's about, right? Spade won't watch my matches because he doesn't want to watch actual wrestling.
DHC wrestlers. I watch NEW. I can watch him lose on the pro shows any day.
Well, I'm here to talk NEW. I am always welcome to talk with other people in other days, but this is your time, and let's talk about what you have to offer. I have to pay him to show up, but he told me he wouldn't come there to lose like a certain NUW wrestler. Yeah, I think I know what we're talking about. Evening, everyone. You know, I spoke with Doc Holliday, and Doc will be on the platform sometimes next month, and I look forward to that. Randa, but me and D Savage could easily take the tag division. Well, you have something to say about that first. We're going to certainly get into that. And I'm more afraid of Doc than I am of Savage.
Yes, 100%.
And I think your sister wants you to talk about your NUW visit.
Oh, we can talk about that.
Talk about it. Will I put something up on the screen? Go ahead.
So, listen, 2 years ago, and this match, like 2, 3, maybe even 4 years ago, but I'll say maybe like 3 years ago, we show up for NUW, over a 2-hour drive to NUW.
Wow.
We were supposed to be in the Roulette Rumble, which they didn't post for like 2 years. I'm not sure why. I don't want to, criticize that because I don't know what goes behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So me, Rhea, Prince, we got told, I probably still have the messages that we had some big plan. They're going to get us in for some moments. We're going to be part of this Rumble. We drive all this way. And, we go to the back area. They have everything written out. And then we find out, we're only going to be each in it for about 2-ish minutes each. I think in total, between 3 people, we were in for 5 minutes. Now, remind you, at this time, and I don't know who booked this match. I don't know who to give this blame to. At this time, we were booking some of the wrestlers. Alan Reed, Johnny Reed, Navon McDonald was coming to W.
I know Navon.
We were giving them championships, giving them big matches. They were getting big moments. All 3 of us going all the way there had less time than any of their individual matches, let alone the total things that they did. Alan Lee, multi-time, I think 2-time United States champion. There was bigger plans for Navon and all that. Listen, we can talk about, you can say what you want about any of the stuff backstage, but when you promise someone that you're gonna do stuff, you're gonna give them a moment, and they travel that way, and you don't keep with that promise, and they're giving you big moments, big matches, and it just, no matter what you want to say, how is that a fair trade? I'm not trying to overly criticize what they do. I don't know the backstage stuff, and I met some super nice people while I'm there, but on the booking side of it just does not seem fair. If any of the people who have an issue with that, who was there backstage, who can tell me why that happens, shoot me a message. But it does not. How is that fair? That you
there's that I do kind of sympathize with that, and I again I don't, like you, I don't know enough of the backstage. I don't work in these companies. I bring people on here, and I do hear different stories, and I mean that stuff. You go out of your way, you want to go out there and show who's the best, and sometimes these things happen. Like you said, I don't know enough about it. I really don't know these people. I mean, Navon McDonald, I know of. He's somebody who hasn't come on the platform. He has his way of doing things, and it's what it is. I mean, ultimately the best you can do is learn from that and apply it, and you seem to be doing pretty good right now, right? And NEW seems to be doing pretty good. So really at the end of the day, people are going to have their opinions, and the best thing you can do is keep doing what you're doing. And speaking of that, because I do want to give you guys something before I get to a Saturday show and talk about Joe Star, which I know you're waiting to pounce on him.
Oh yeah.
I did want to say congratulations to DHC, because it's DHC day on Sportswire Radio, and I have the other copy here. Let me put this up because it's the actual better one. Let me take this off, and congratulations to you guys. And on all Sportswire Radio platforms, it is now DHC Day. So there you have it. So we'll give you guys the physical copy when we're off the air. Happy birthday to you and your sister, and to the rest of the group, congratulations on the very successful Saturday's Cold as Hell show. And I'm sure Vortex will be just as successful. And congratulations again on your victory as well. And I'm sure that you guys will continue to do what you do. And we wanted to recognize you here on all of our platforms for your success.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the AC, we are glad you see what we see. And, some people don't show the DHC any appreciation, but Tom, you've always been so kind to all the members of DHC, giving us a platform, promoting our EW, because that belongs to DHC. So thank you for
I think Shane said it should be every day is DHC Day.
It really should.
Maybe. I mean, listen. Well, today it's DHC Day, and I'd like to, I'm sure we'll give the DHC members the physical copy. And yes, congratulations. And let's get back on track. And yes, we love having you guys all on here. And I look forward to Jake coming back on here, hopefully in the next week or so. And we'll handle that here. But let's get to it here. I want to talk about Saturday's show. I'm excited about it. I'm sure that you are just as much. And let's talk about it. I've got the poster up, and I want to get your thoughts on a couple different things here. First of all, obviously, what do you think that Joe Star, Kuma, and Shima will actually say? Do you think they're going to say what we've been talking about here tonight, that maybe they're not going to show up? I mean, do you have any thought, or do you care at all at what Shima, Kuma, and Joe Star have to say?
The only way I will care what they say is if they quit. I don't care about Shima. I definitely don't care about Joe Star. And I don't care about that loser, Kuma. None of them matter to me. They should just officially hand over the tie belts. Joe Star should quit. Kuma quit too. Maybe Shima can stay a little.
But he was the golden boy. What do you think about that? Do you think that Kuma has now been maybe taken down a notch? We saw what he did toward the end of last season, starting here. But do you think now that the golden boy is going to maybe drop a notch or no longer become the golden boy now, especially after you take those tag team championships permanently from him and Shima alongside your sister?
Listen, he went up like one notch. He's still at the bottom. Kuma doesn't matter. He should just give that up, give up the briefcase, go home to his stupid type guinea pigs, jobbers, whatever the fuck they are, and just stay home. Stay with News and never come back. Listen, they can have their nice little life with the stupid little whatever they are, you know, disgusting little freaks.
Mm-hmm.
Kuma and the jobbers or whatever they are. I've seen a picture of them. They're disgusting.
I didn't eat yet, so that's another reason why I won't eat for a while. But I want to go back to Joe Starr for a minute because you and Joe famously had some memorable incidents here on the platform the last few months. And do you feel kind of in a way vindicated about Joe Starr? We would talk with Joe time and time again. And just to let you know, Joe Starr is coming here on May 31st. I'm going to announce it here. Yeah, I figured that. But what's left of Joe Starr, he will be here May 31st because coincidentally, it's his birthday. So he would like to be here. And we're going to give him what's left of him on the 31st. But you feel vindicated. We talk time and time again. Even when Gabe came here last, we talked about the fact that there is a transition from being the guy that's the hunter to the hunted. And Joe obviously dealt with that. Look at what you did to him. And we've seen what now Jake has done to him. And do you feel now vindicated about Joe Starr over these last few months?
Jake the rank, he did what I couldn't do. He took the title from Joe Starr. And I'm so happy to see it. And now we all get to see what I've been waiting for, what I've been talking about. What happens after he loses the belt? Who is he? Will he just fall down and become nothing, fall into, the bottom of the roster, never rise to the top like we've seen in wrestling before?
Oh, you've seen this before. No, that's a good point. The guys, when they win a championship and when they lose, it takes them, sometimes they never come back, period.
I don't think Joe Starr will. He's one of those guys who had all the momentum in the world. Everyone was looking at him to be the next star. He was so confident. He believed all his hype. He never had to learn from losing. And now we're going to see, after all this time, he's learned nothing. He's learned nothing to stand on his own, to be somebody without a championship. And we're going to see Joe Starr fall down and down and down until NEW just lets him go. He quits. I don't know. I don't care.
Well, I mean, maybe you'll care if he says that he's no longer going to be a part of the roster after this Saturday's Vortex. I'm sure you would care about that. But, it's an interesting point as we're here again with Tyson Spade. And he is here on behalf of the DHC. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all music and wrestling matters. And thank you so much, everybody here, for tuning in. But it is an interesting point if you take a step back for a minute. And you look at guys like Joe Starr that win a championship, certainly what he did, defeating Surge, ending his career, keeping the Northeast title. But now you have to deal with that setback. We see it all too often that when you win and then you deal with that being the hunted and now you lose, that's a big adjustment. And you have to wonder, I mean, if Joe can't get the job done, I mean, there really isn't anybody that could stop you guys. I mean, at this point, right? Because we talked all night, or we've talked over the past hour about the fact that Shima and Kuma, right? Kuma is now going down a notch. Shima, look at what Sane did to him, right? Gabe Sayers, we spent 20 minutes on Gabe Sayers, right? And Joe Starr, man, that you famously battled here. And Joe Starr, man, who, by the way, very quiet here tonight. Not a single word from Joe Starr. And,
finally.
And that makes you wonder, though. I mean, if Joe can't do anything and he now lost the Northeast title, there really isn't anybody in the wings to stop you, all four of you. I mean, I think that's at least what I've learned tonight.
There's no one. Is Limbo going to do it? No. Gabe couldn't do it. Joe couldn't do it. Kuma couldn't do it. Shima couldn't do it. Who's left? Leo couldn't do it. I beat him at the season finale.
Yeah.
Prince can't do shit. Savage quit.
Well, let me ask you.
I
Okay,
think no big deal.
let's go with a follow-up. Now, we do know that we're going to hear from Power Surge and Zero. Now, what is your opinion on what we might hear from them?
Well, first of all, after everything Surge did to Jake, hopefully he's giving him an apology before he takes Zero out with him, and Zero can retire alongside Power Surge. And, right off into the sunset, go back to PA, and that could be it. We saw Zero get beaten by Rhea Silver on the season finale. What is he gonna do? He better not stand to DHC. He better just be announcing his retirement and never come back. Because if he wants to stand to DHC, he will get put down again.
Well, I mean, that's up to him. But let me ask you, I'm sure he's not happy about the way things are going right now, right? Do you think that he's not happy and could potentially say something or do something? Is there anything that you might think?
Well, it doesn't matter if he's happy. Do you think everyone else was happy as cold day as hell? No, they weren't happy. It doesn't matter if he's happy. It's not about what they want. It's about what we want. It doesn't matter what his feelings are. It doesn't.
You're not concerned about anything Power Surge could say. You're not concerned in one way or another.
I'm certain it's just run-of-the-mill stuff. Listen, him and Zero just stay away from our path. Give Jake and DHC the apology they deserve, and that's it.
And Zero, you expect him to announce his retirement then?
Oh, 100%. He can quit just like D Savage did.
And Zero's fall, though, I mean, we talked about Joe, right? But Zero at one time, he had the Undisputed Championship, and look at his fall. So really, I mean, Zero at this point, how far or how low can you go, right? I mean, how low can you go? So really the only thing left from him is to say it was a great career. It was a great run, and I appreciate the opportunity, and that's the end of my career, right? Because like I said, a few months back last season, he was the Undisputed Champion, and he lost that and pretty much lost being a part of the group.
But I have never liked Zero. Every time we faced off, he's disrespected me. He's the last person I faced before the range era started. I've had a few battles with him. If he wants to stand to DHC again, this time I will make sure to do what I couldn't have done in the past, and I will put him down. But if he has any brain cells left, and I know he doesn't have much, I know he doesn't have any memory left much either, he will just stay out of all.
Well, I think that actually does go back to Savage's line about people on trampolines who are older, they lose memory. So technically, we'll give Savage that one. Okay,
I've never been on a trampoline.
All right, but let me ask you, there is something that I want to ask you something about that would mean really something. Is that those tag team championships, right? And you and your sister would have a chance to do something in the underground that's rarefied air. Right now in wrestling, there's one team out there. They actually, from a company that comes on here called Legit Alternative Wrestling, and they're the Pattersons, and they're a brother-sister combo. They have the tag team championship. So they're the only combo, at least as far as I know, anywhere in wrestling, in indie or pro wrestling, that is a brother-sister team that holds those championships. But in the underground, right, you and your sister have a chance to make some history. And what does that mean to you to do that with your sister? I'm curious on that for the audience. What would that mean to you to actually win those tag team championships along with your sister, Rhea Silver?
Me and Rhea, we've been off and on teaming for several years now. Not once has me and Rhea won the tag team titles together. That would mean the world. After everything we've been to, all the battles, the back and forth, that we're finally on the same page for the first time in years, that we can finally win those tag team titles together. That's a moment I've been waiting for. That's the moment when you grow up watching wrestling as kids. You know,
Sure.
when we've seen people like the Usos and stuff like that, and you've seen different
A
family
brother
teams.
sister, we haven't seen that really. That's why it's a very unique thing that you could do. It's a really, like I said, in wrestling, there's one team out there that holds championships as a brother sister combo, and you and Rhea would in the underground, right, be the first. I don't think I've heard of anybody in the underground that has held a tag team championship, and especially a company like NEW's, right? 2,500 subscribers, almost 1,000 views every big show, and I think that would be a really big deal and a cool feat.
No, it will definitely be a history making moment. It will be a moment I've been waiting my entire life since watching wrestling to do. And it will happen because look who's the tag team champions. Halo Kuma. They don't matter. You think Kuma can beat me? No chance.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out. I think that obviously you hold the championships, but now it's a matter of will you be recognized as the champions. I think that's really
what Broncos would do. He will officially grant us the tag team titles. That would be nice.
But I think though that would be a really big deal though in your career. I think to be able to say, I know, yes, you've in possession, you took the titles at the end of the show, but now to be in the record books, the NEW Tag Team Champions, I think that would, again, I can't think of many teams out there anywhere. I mean, we talk just about in pro wrestling, WWE, underground, into whatever it is at this point, right? And there's very few brother sister combos out there, and you and Rhea have that chance. And I think that's you're almost chasing history. It's Jake. It's like Jake, right? Jake was chasing history, right? Winning the Northeast Championship. He had never won the Northeast title, right? Sane hadn't been a world champion in years, right? And he did that. So it seems like DHC is just breaking records, right? DHC is just doing things that sets itself apart. And that's why, really, to go on what your sister's saying here in the chat, that maybe you should just be declared the champions this Saturday, and maybe that's what we're going to see, right?
Sorge, you can make history. Just make it happen. It would mean so much to our family, to the DHC, and it will actually matter to give NEW an actual good tag team champions. So it's just all around a good idea. Make history, make headlines, do what needs to be done. Power Surge, Vortex, Saturday, 12 noon
Eastern time.
Official.
Yeah, Eastern time. I happen to like the 12 o'clock start time. Reminds me, I think Savage is a basketball fan. They used to play the NBA on NBC, and they would play sometimes 12 o'clock afternoon games, and it's kind of what NEW does. I want to ask you, before I ask you about Sane's open challenge, which I don't even know who would even want to respond to that. You and I were talking off the air, and this photo reminds me in many ways of the famous NWO picture. And you and I were talking about this, and what does this picture resemble to you?
Well, it resembles what NWO did, taking over. Look at that. That is history. That's dominance. That's us taking over, making our name. And unlike the NWO, there's no low point. There's no, it gets bad near the end.
Oh yeah, don't do like 20 members. Don't do like the NWO Hollywood, and then they had Wolfpack, and then it was like, I don't think you're gonna have that problem. Where they had like 30 members, and it was like, okay, maybe it's time to do something else.
Unlike the NWO, we just kept getting better. And listen, I think the best part is we're not, to no offense to some people,
sure.
We're not going to just replicate and steal from the past. If we, get the comparisons to a great group, that's wonderful, but we're doing our own thing. And to just naturally, unplanned, make a similar picture just goes to show we are great. I'm not going to compare any of us to Hogan because Hogan sucks. But, the other good members, not that piece of trash.
Yeah, no, listen, you know what? I kind of agree with you on some of those things. But look, I think you guys are creating your own path. And Speaking of sane, though, I mean, who in their right mind would answer this open challenge to him? I mean, like what? Like
You would
who
have
would really
to,
want to do that?
you would have to be stupid. That'd be someone dumb like Gabe Sayers. Like you would have to
I
be
think
dumb.
after what you did to Gabe and his arm, I think Gabe is
No,
lucky his arm isn't in a sling right now. I mean, let's
no.
be
Hopefully
honest.
they don't show up. Hopefully no one is subs. Because I mean, it's be insane. Who in the right mind will stand up to him? Again, you would have to be dumb.
Yeah, and especially after what Sane did to Shima, and you look at Sane, and I know he's obviously had a lot of success in the past, and I'll put the match up here for a few minutes, and you look at it, and he's using his size, he's using his strength. He's another guy, right? That's been a veteran for over a decade, and maybe it's gonna sound weird when I say this, and tell me your thoughts. It almost sounds like maybe now he's finally realizing his true potential because you look at what he's doing and you look at how he's using his abilities, it seems like he's really living up to his true potential right now. Finally, what is your thoughts on that?
Well, because he saw what we see. He saw to no longer care. It's the first time we've seen in years. Saying not, just pandering to the fans. First time
Yeah,
since the decree, which conveniently enough was the last time he was the world champion. It's
yeah,
simple. Sane knew to stop caring about these people and care about himself. Surround himself with his true family. Sane has always been this great. Go look back. Seeing how many championships this man wins a year? This
yeah.
man is probably one of the most titles.
Hardcore tag champ. He's won. Yeah, he's won a lot of championships. He's a guy, but I feel like in his abilities this season and certainly the match with Savage to end last season, it almost feels like though he's using what he has, his God-given abilities. I mean, he's a Cambodian war machine. And, like he hasn't, not to say that he hasn't had used those abilities before, but I feel like now with what he's doing as a part of the group, it seems like he's using those God-given talents to his advantage right now. And I think that that's why it's going to be very difficult for anybody to let alone take that title away from him, but even want to show up in their right mind.
Exactly, because he makes people, as we would say, take notice. People are paying attention. People are now scared of him. He's using his strength to the fullest because he doesn't care if Shima's okay after this match, like he would if this was a year ago. And
Yeah.
that's what it comes to. We don't care who we hurt. We care about making NEW a better place.
Well, I mean, right now, there's no question that we're going to see some of the fallout from this. It's going to take place one more time this Saturday. It's at 12 o'clock Eastern time. It's the next episode of Vortex on the road to Insanity Calamity. And we have on here, as I like to say, the methodical Tyson Spade, who certainly had some memorable moments here. Let me get to a few more comments. All we need is 4. Yeah, thank you for confirming that at least DHC won't turn into like I said, 30. The NWO had like 30 members at one point. I think 4 is enough. I think that's a good point. Yep, DHC are the real NEW tag team champions. Well, we'll find, we're going to find out. We're going to certainly find out this Saturday. Anyone that touched up to Sane will fail. And they would be insane. It reminds me of a Cypress Hill song, Insane in the Main Brain. And they would be insane in the brain. And if they would show up to wrestle him. Cambodian, that MF from Detroit. Well, yeah, that is I don't think he's from Detroit, but somebody else is. And he had some other comments. But okay, so obviously we'll watch this for a few more minutes. But so is there any goals that you have for this season other than those tag team championships? Is there anything else that you, whether it's for you or collectively, you think as the group that you guys have coming up?
Well, obviously, take the tag belts. Let's see. Beyond that, we have everything else. It's hard, I guess beyond that, I have some few people I still, need some revenge on. As I said, Gabe Sayers, we had, some history, get some revenge. Maybe I'll, take out Joe Star, smash the crowbar straight to his skull. Kuma. I could retire Kuma. That would be, great.
Well,
Uh,
I will say Kuma does. Maybe you can retire his entrance. He's got the
yeah,
longest one in history.
God damn it. His entrance is longer than his fucking hamster's lifespan. I
Well, I mean, it's not working for him right now, so maybe he'll go to Plan B. I mean, Plan B is always
anything.
out
Is
there.
anything else, Kuma? Such a joke. But beyond that, let's see. There's more to win.
Let me ask you one thing on Kuma. Actually, one thing. Are you concerned at all with the briefcase?
You think he could beat Sane? Even with a briefcase, he ain't taking the championship from BN Sane. Kuma, he's not a undisputed champion level wrestler. I've
Hmm.
been to the top. I know what it takes. Kuma, he's never gonna successfully cash in. He should just give up the briefcase. Maybe try for another belt, but even then, who's he gonna cash in on? Jake Dvorak? He would lose. He couldn't beat Rhea. He should just keep the briefcase, hand it in, maybe turn it into a nice little suitcase. Put his papers
Well, I
in.
don't know what can you. That's an interesting off topic. What can you do with a briefcase if you don't cash in with it? I don't know what could you do with it. I mean,
Well, when he quits, you can put his new papers in for his new job. You can put his hamster in there. I don't really know what else. I don't really care what he does with it. As long
well,
as
you know what? If somebody could, maybe that's what Power Surge is going to answer for us. I don't
hopefully
know.
they'll just take it from him. I don't.
And Jake wants to, before we move on to a final thought or two. He has a hamster named Gilbert, and
Oh God, I've seen that disgusting little bastard. That those things are abomination to God and humanity. They should just go extinct. If I ever see Gilbert or whatever the fuck his name is, I'm gonna stomp its head in. It's disgusting. I like go see a picture of one of these things. They're hideous. I
I
don't know
didn't eat yet. I mean, I would, but I didn't eat yet. I mean, so even Doc is laughing. Yeah, I mean, each to its own. Listen, people,
why.
each
Of
to its
course,
own.
Kuma is a weird animal because he's a fucking weirdo himself. Uh,
Well, you know what? Look, I'm gonna certainly let the public decide, and the chat, the peanut gallery, whatever we want to call them at this point. Maybe that they'll have a better idea. They know about it, but I'll tell you what I'm excited about to stay on track is that I am excited for this coming episode of NEW's Vortex. It's going to take place 12 o'clock Eastern time. We are less than 48 hours away from it. As a matter of fact, we're about 36 or so hours away from it. So make sure you check it out. And we see that Gilbert for undisputed champion.
oh,
And, who knows? But Gilbert couldn't last against it. Yeah, I don't think that the hamster could win that one, especially with Sane at this point. Kuma's trying with his headbutts, and he's trying, but trying doesn't mean you succeed. It's an old thing they would say. But if you'd like to see more of NEW, hit the sub button for them, and you can check them out. And we'll play this out for a few minutes. And before I get to closing thoughts, is there anything else that you want to address before we sign off? Before I give you the floor for closing thoughts, anything else you'd like to say about tonight or what's ahead in the future? Anything else that you'd like to say that we didn't cover?
simple. No one's to stand to DHC. Joe Saw sucks.
You've been saying that for a while, the last
I
3 or 4 months. So
know
either it's
saying
here, you've been here on the chat. That I've noticed. I'm going to remember that.
Leonidas still never said thank you. Like made his entire career. Chandler should quit again. Havoc, I don't know if he still works here.
I don't know. That's a name. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know. There are people that I don't know what happens with Shock, Torrance Banks, Stephen Havoc, some of those guys, Mickey Vargas. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe they'll be back. I think they'll answer it, right? They usually come on here. They'll be back. Maybe they'll tell us. But right now, what you're telling us is that you're basically taking over. This is a DHC show. What I said, it was DHC hour last Saturday, this Thursday on Sportswire. It's DHC hour, and there's no question that you all have been very successful, victorious, and like you said, all undefeated. Yeah, looking at Sane right now, And yeah, there's nobody that's going to certainly look to challenge and take that from him. Jake has won a championship that has long eluded him here in the Northeast Championship. Back-to-back wins over Joe Starr. Ray has got the hardcore championship over Kuma. And now you are in possession alongside your sister of those tag team championships. And it's only a matter of time from what you've told us tonight where you'll actually be now declared the tag team championships in the record book. So a lot to ponder. And
it'll be a great birthday gift. But there's one more thing I just remembered. I forgot I was going to say it near the beginning of the show.
Sure.
It was someone else's birthday recently, actually. Zilla's birthday was recently. I don't know if you guys.
Yes. It was. I think last week. I did wish her happy birthday. Yes.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure to say happy birthday on air to Zilla.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure to say that and make sure everyone knows.
Yes. No. Zilla. We love Zilla. And Zilla, I know, is always in the chats on Saturdays and all the shows. And yeah, Zilla's great. She's at every show, always supportive, and that's great. That's we need more people like that in the world. So yeah, Zilla, definitely happy birthday to her again, and maybe we'll see more Zilla on Sportswire. But until then, this is the before we get to closing goods. That's the poster. This is just look at this shot. I mean, really a really well done shot and a memorable one, to say the least. And yeah, I mean, there you go. And look at it here, and definitely a memorable night that happened here on Sportswire, and a memorable Saturday show for the gang, especially for DHC. And you can check them out most certainly this coming Saturday, and it is also DHC Day. I'm going to put the better copy because I have this one up because I got the spelling correct on this one. That's the copy. We're going to give this to the group when we're off the air. My friend, I'm going to pass the baton to you. I'm going to give you the floor now. I'm going to put your Instagram up in case anybody else would like to give you a follow, connect, who knows, whatever else. And I pass the baton to you, my friend. Take it away.
It's simple. This summer is going to be amazing. DHC is taking over. You may see me a few other places this summer. Can't say officially anything there yet.
Card subject to change, right? Yeah, subject to change.
And beyond that, we're gonna take over. We're gonna destroy anyone in our path. If it's that loser, Joe Starr, Leonidas, Gilbert, doesn't matter who it is, they're getting put down.
Lyra Limber, got to throw in Lyra Limber. I know Rhea definitely. Your sister definitely has Lyra Limber in sights. That I know.
I don't count Limber as actually a member of our roster yet, but if you do, that's up to you. If Havoc wants to wrestle, return, who knows? Anyone who stands up to us will be put down. It's simple as that.
Well, we're going to find out, and definitely give Tyson a follow on Instagram. Check out NEW on YouTube. Check them out on Instagram. Check them out on Facebook. And actually, Zilla's been on Sportswire a lot, actually. Zilla's been here about 5 or 6 times. So definitely, though, we appreciate the sentiment. And Killer Bumps, the summer of DHC. Yeah, very well could be. James was here in the chat. I don't know what James is doing. You might want to ask him. But I'll tell you what. Yeah, who knows? Let's focus on this here, like you guys say. This is Tyson Spade. He is now the newest member of the DHC, the DHC 4 they are, and they are the Fantastic Four, and they're going to be in action coming up this Saturday, and we will hear from them, and we will see Tyson Spade actually in action here coming up. He will be in action in a 3-on-1 handicap match against Joe Starr, who we think at the moment is going to show up, and he'll see Jake Dvorak again. He'll also see Rhea Silver, and it'll be a 3-on-1 handicap match for.
That's like a late birthday gift. I can't wait.
Well, we'll have to see. That's on 4, but there you go. That is 4, and 4 horsemen, Fantastic Four, whatever it is, they have nothing on the DHC. But congratulations, my friend, on the success. I enjoyed the show this past Saturday. I'm looking forward to what's ahead here as well, here in about 36 hours. And thank you as always, and we'll see you here, I'm sure, in a few weeks.
Yep, can't wait. Remember, subscribe to NEW.
Yes, yes, definitely subscribe. Yes, please hit the sub button for them, and that's what it's about. But thank you, everybody, here for tuning in. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, this is Tyson Spade. He is a part of the DHC, which is a part of NEW, and their upcoming Vortex show was this coming Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern time. Check it out tomorrow. I'm here with Aaron Blaze. He'll have to top this. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, but we'll have to see. But until then, please hit the sub button for NEW. Please hit the follow button for them on Instagram. Check them out on Facebook. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great night and happy birthday to you, my friend, as well. Also to your sister. And thank you for everybody for joining us on DHC Day. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one global radio station that is Sports by Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you so much, everybody.